All right. Everyone, please be seated. All right, could the interpreter identify him or herself, please?
Yes, Your Honor. David Castellanos from the Office of the Court Interpreter.
Okay, thank you. Just do one. Okay. Good afternoon. This is the 2 o'clock calendar on March 10th, 2025.
Buenas tardes. Este es el calendario de las 2 de la tarde del 10 de marzo del 2025.
The court orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar.
Las órdenes judiciales de la toma de muestras de ADN y de huellas dactilares que se emitieron en el primer calendario de este mes van a aplicarse a todas las audiencias de hoy.
When I call your name, you'll stand behind the podium and give me your name and your date of birth.
Cuando les llame por su nombre, por favor, párense atrás del podio y denme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
I will not say out loud all of your release conditions. They will be on your paperwork. They'll be for you to read and understand.
No les voy a decir en voz alta todas sus medidas cautelares. Esas van a aparecer en su papeleo. Ustedes deben de leerlas y entenderlas.
At a minimum, it will call for no drugs without a valid prescription and don't drive without a valid driver's license.
Por lo mínimo van a indicar que no deben de consumir drogas sin una receta vigente y no debe de conducir sin una licencia de conducir vigente.
If I set bond as a security appearance bond, you can go through a bonding company.
Si yo fijo una fianza de caución real, se puede utilizar una empresa de fianzas.
It's my understanding they do take collect calls.
Por lo que entiendo yo, ellos aceptan llamadas a cobrar.
On some of the walls here in the jail are their numbers for the bonding companies, but if you can't find one, please ask one of the officers to provide that information.
En algunas de las paredes de la cárcel aquí van a estar los números de teléfono de algunas de las empresas de fianzas y si no pueden encontrar uno, pueden pedirle uno a uno de los agentes para que se lo proporcionen.
Okay. Angel or Angel, Miguel Perez.
Ángel Miguel Pérez.
Señor, your name and your date of birth, please.
Señor, su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Miguel Ángel Pérez, 13 de enero de 2004.
Miguel Ángel Pérez, January 13th of 2004.
Sir, is Spanish your primary language?
Señor, ¿el español es su lengua principal?
Sí.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you need a Spanish interpreter to help you understand the proceedings against you?
¿Y usted necesita a un intérprete de la lengua español para poder ayudarle a entender el proceso en contra de usted?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, so I'm appointing the Office of the Court Interpreter's Office to assist you during your proceedings.
Bien, voy a nombrar entonces a la oficina de intérpretes judiciales para que le puedan asistir durante su caso.
Okay. Sir, you are charged in the Desert Ridge Justice Court with the charge of possession or transportation of unlawful game parts, a Class 2 misdemeanor.
Señor, a usted se le está imputando desde el juzgado de paz de Desert Ridge un punto acusatorio de tenencia o traslado ilícito de partes de caza. Es un ilícito que se tipifica como una falta de clase 2.
The address for the Desert Ridge Justice Court will be on your paperwork.
La dirección para el juzgado de paz de Desert Ridge va a aparecer en su papeleo.
Yeah, this is a warrant.
y se había girado una orden de aprehensión.
You must appear at the Desert Ridge Justice Court on March 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. If you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Usted debe de comparecer en el juzgado de paz de Desert Ridge el día 17 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde. Si usted no comparece, se va a girar otra orden de aprehensión.
That court wanted a bond of $2,500, but I'm going to release you on your own recognizance with a promise that you show up on March 17th and any future court dates.
Ese juzgado estaba pidiendo que se fijara una fianza de $2,500, pero yo le liberaré bajo caución real. Esto significa que usted promete que va a comparecer a esa próxima audiencia el 17 de marzo y cualquier otra audiencia futura.
So you'll be released from custody within a few hours after they've done processing you.
Usted va a ser liberado dentro de algunas horas después de que ellos hayan terminado de procesarlo.
Okay. Gracias.
De nada. Okay, just make a general announcement. Make sure we don't have any other interpreter matters, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. ¿Se encuentra alguien más en la sala que requiera asistencia de un intérprete de la lengua español? Si hay alguien que necesite un intérprete, si levanta la mano, por favor.
Nope. Very good. Thanks very much. Have a good afternoon.
My pleasure. You too.
Okay. All right, Darian Jones. Your name and date of birth?
Darian Jones, May 9, 97.
5997?
Yes.
All right, sir. Looks like you probably have an order of protection against you right now. Do you?
No.
I'm not sure what. I don't have any more information about it. It just says order of protection. Okay. So you were charged with a Class 4 felony, aggravated assault, domestic violence, impeding breathing, and assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I'm appointing a lawyer for you. Your court dates will be at 175 West Madison Street at 8:30 for a status conference on March 17th and a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with the alleged victim. You're not to consume any alcohol or possess any alcohol. You're going to have to find an alternative residence and provide proof of that. And something leads me to believe that you have a case manager. Do you have a case manager?
Not that I believe of.
Okay, I'm going to just delete that. Okay. There must be any terms of orders of protection to be issued or that have been issued or will be issued. You can return one time to the scene of the alleged crime with a police officer on a civil standby to pick up your personal effects. I will tell you this, these prosecutors were asking for a $25,000 cash bond. I'm going to make it a security appearance bond, but in the amount of $15,000. If you post your bond, you better make sure you show up for court. All right, step to your left, please. Vito Yanko. Oh.
You are changing the paperwork?
Yeah, I just changed it, yeah. Thanks.
Number 14 has a victim
Oh, just came in? All right, thank you. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Vito Yonko, August 19, 1995.
All right, sir, I'm going to have to explain something to you, by the way. Looks like you got a warrant out of Texas, but this apparently is no hold, and doesn't seem, I have a feeling they're not going to put a future of justice hold on you, but that's just a guess on my part, okay? I'm just sort of mentioning that to you. Yeah, you don't have to raise your hand, just.
Oh, yes, sir. I have an attorney that I'm working with on that.
Okay, I'm just.
Yes, sir.
That's more of a point of information, not.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I got to explain certain things to you. And I just want to double check one other thing here. Okay, you may have an attorney in Texas, but I'm going to appoint an attorney for you here. Okay. And if you always want to, if you want to hire your own attorney, you certainly can here. Okay. So now let me just tell you what your charges before me are. 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs. Well, it says here one possession for sale, class 2 felony. The other one says possession of narcotic drugs, possession for sale, class 4 felony. But I think they meant possession of narcotic drugs, class 4. But anyway, unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, class 5 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, and failure to stay at an accident or attended vehicle, class 1 misdemeanor. Now, I'm making a certain decision based on limited information. So at this point, because I don't have any, there have been no lab drug tests, I don't, on the 2 narcotic drug cases, not the paraphernalia, I don't find probable cause. At this point, doesn't mean you won't be charged with it. You'll talk to your lawyer about that. So don't be surprised if it comes back, even though I say no probable cause at this time. I just don't have enough information. Okay. You'll be at 175 West Madison Street, 8:30 in the morning on March 17th for a status conference and a witness preliminary hearing. At this point, it's scheduled for March 19th at 8:30. You can't possess any weapons, and if in case there are any co-defendants, you're not to have you're not to have any contact with any co-defendant. All right. Now, I will tell you this also: the state was asking for $15,000 security appearance bond. I'm making it $7,500, so you can go through a bondsman. Okay. So make sure, and if you make it push a bond, you don't want to lose it. So show up for court, or else a warrant can issue. So step to your left, please. Excuse me. Step to your left.
Judge, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
stand by the microphone, though.
Yes, sir. So they took my cell phone, and I have like $2,000 on one of my
That's
phones.
something you know. That's beyond the court's power. You got to talk to the officers about that.
Okay.
Okay, and it may not be. It may be the arresting agency. You're probably going to have to talk to your lawyer about that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Marion Hilliard. Okay, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Kamarion Hilliard.
A little louder, please.
Kamarion Hilliard, June 18, 2005.
All right, sir, you have the following charges for you, which I'm appointing a lawyer for you. Unlawful means of transportation, class 5 felony. Unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, class 5 felony. And carrying a deadly weapon, being 21 years of age or young, or under the age of 21 years. That's a class 3 misdemeanor. I've received a victim impact statement, just talking about the hardship because we're having replaced the ignition, and other issues. You'll be at 175 West Madison Street for a status conference on March 17th, and at this point, a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th, both at 8:30 in the morning. You cannot initiate contact with the alleged victim, can't possess any weapons, and actually I have to amend something because of your age, you cannot consume any alcohol. Okay, and in your particular case, I'm going to lower the bond I was originally going to do in this particular case. Originally, it was going to be $7,500. I'm going to make it $2,500 security appearance bond. You better show up. Understand that? Okay.
Could you repeat
if you
that?
post your bond. Right.
Could you repeat that, please?
What?
Could you repeat that last part?
Yeah, I was going to make it a $7,500 bond. I've reduced it to $2,500 security appearance bond. You can go through a bondsman. You don't have to produce the whole $2,500 in cash. Okay. Now step to your left, please. Leland So? Your name and date of birth, please.
Leland So, 7/18/1991.
Okay, does he have a holdout of Tempe?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that means tomorrow morning, right?
Yes, I don't want to say yes.
No, I mean, they don't, unlike Phoenix, they don't have an afternoon court.
No, normally they come pick them up either tomorrow morning or tonight, and he'll stay.
Yeah, but I'm saying you won't be seeing the court until to the morning.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. All right, so you understand that, whatever happens here, you're still gonna have to be held for Tempe, all right? And then, you also have a case in Phoenix, but that's not a warrant, it looks like, okay? So make sure you don't lose track of all your cases, because right now I see Superior Court, I see Tempe, and I see Phoenix, all right? Now, I'm appointing a lawyer for you on this case. You have a domestic violence charge of aggravated assault. The victim is bound or restrained, a Class 6 felony. You'll be at 175 West Madison Street for a status conference on March 17th at 8:30 and a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, cannot initiate contact with the alleged victim, no drugs without a valid prescription. You have to get an alternative residence. If there's no order of protection in effect or will be one, you have to obey them. You can return one time to the scene of the alleged crime with a police officer on a civil standby to pick up your personal effects. And the state wanted a $25,000 cash bond, making a security appearance bond of $5,000. Step to your left, please. Denise Gwynn. All right, ma'am. Your name and date of birth, please.
Denise Gwynn, 1775.
All right, you got a warrant from outside the county in Apache Junction. The address will be there. It's on a drug paraphernalia, Class 1 misdemeanor. And they set bond for you in a cash bond of $256. And your arraignment hearing will be on March 13th at 8:30. If you post your bond, make sure you get there at that date and time. Otherwise, you'll be picked up and transported.
Okay.
Step to your left, please. All right. Angel or Angel Rodriguez.
Angel Rodriguez, January 19, 1996.
96?
Yeah, 96.
Okay. All right, so you got two charges, well, actually more than two charges. 3 counts of aggravated DUI. It looks like 0.08 with a passenger under 15 in your vehicle, Class 4 felony, and 1 count of aggravated DUI based on license suspended or revoked, another Class 4 felony. Sir, at this point, I cannot appoint an attorney to represent you.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to hire your own.
Okay.
But if you can't hire one, no promises. You can apply to your assigned court and see if that judge will appoint one for you. No promises. No promises whether they will or not. Yeah.
Okay. Can I still call the other attorney I had from my recent DUI?
No,
I can't.
No,
Okay.
No one's stopping you from. You'll get a call to try to reach an attorney. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this officer will, I'm sure, will give you that information.
Okay.
Things like internal stuff, the officers have to answer that question. The court can't do that. Okay. But certainly, if you're able to hire that attorney, he or she will have to file a notice of appearance, and they'll get involved in the case.
Okay.
All right. You'll be at 175 West Madison Street for a status conference on March 17th at 8:30, and a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You cannot consume any alcohol, no drugs without a valid prescription. You are not to drive a motor vehicle with anyone under 18 in your vehicle, unless changed by the assigned judge. Bond will be set in a $1,000 security appearance bond. All right, so you go to a bondsman. Make sure you make your court dates. Ulysses Taylor. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Ulysses Taylor, 10/14/1976.
Does he have a hold out of Phoenix?
Yes, Judge, he has a 1600 court.
So probably, sir, there's a good chance you'll be seeing it there 4:30 calendar. Would you agree?
That's at 4 o'clock.
Oh, 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, 4 o'clock.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's about an hour and a half from now. So they'll decide what happens with you on that case. That's on a violation of court order case.
Okay.
That's all I know about. Okay. Now, in this matter, you're charged with possession of narcotic drugs, class 4 felony, threatening and intimidating, class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, class 1 misdemeanor. I am appointing a lawyer for you. You'll be at 175 West Mass Street. Court times will be 8:30 in the morning. Status conference on March 17th, and witness preliminary hearing on March 19th. You're not to return to the scene of alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with alleged victim or victims. And sir, I will tell you this. I know you have about 4 failures to appear. You have 9 priors. Bond will be set in a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Step to your left, please. Enrique Villela.
Enrique Villela, July 9, 1986.
Okay. Sir, I'm appointing a lawyer for you. You're in charge with 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a class 5 felony. Sir?
Yes, I'm sure.
You don't know how to read?
I don't know, yeah, I don't know how to read it. I haven't been in, I've been in special ed since 3rd grade.
What was that?
I've been in special ed since
Okay, but how did you get a driver's license if you can't read? How'd you pass the written test?
I don't, it's because, like, my classes, I pass them because of the special ed. Every class, I automatically pass.
No, but how did you get a driver's motor vehicles pass? How'd you pass the written test for motor vehicles?
Oh, because there's sometimes they show you, like, they help you.
You didn't have a written test?
No, I don't know, no.
Well.
And I had a long time having gotten in trouble. That's why I don't know, I did a big mistake.
Okay. Well, I noticed you also have 3 prior felonies. You'll talk to your lawyer about things. You'll be at 175 West Mass Street in Phoenix on March 17th at 8:30, and a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. Sir, I've taken into consideration, because pretrial services advised me about those issues and learning disabilities, but I noticed you do have 3 prior felony convictions.
I always go to my courts. I never miss.
I'm just telling you, all right? First of all, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to initiate contact with arresting officers. You cannot drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And you have to submit to a 10-print fingerprint at the arresting police department and provide proof to the court of your local address, or continue to provide it. Now, so you'll be on 175 West Madison Street on March 17th at 8:30. A witness preliminary hearing 2 days later on March 19th at 8:30. If you don't show up, you could lose any bond, and a warrant will issue for your arrest. I reduced the bond to $750 security appearance bond. If you can go to a bonding company, so you wouldn't have to pull up that full amount. All right, go see the officer.
So I will have to pay bond right now?
Yeah, only if you want to get out. Okay.
Okay.
Winton Ashley. Good afternoon, sir.
Winton Ashley.
Your name and date of birth, please.
Winton Ashley.
And date of birth.
August 4th, 1989.
Okay, there we go. All right, so you got 2 matters before me. One is a probation violation warrant. It looks like you're on probation for possession of drug paraphernalia. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5. I appoint a lawyer for you. You'll be at 201 West Jefferson for your probation revocation arraignment hearing on March 17th at 8:30. If you get out, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You can't possess or consume any alcohol, you can't possess any weapons, and you can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Another judge has set bond for you in the amount of $250 security appearance bond. Now, you also have a warrant at a Kyrene Justice Court on criminal trespass in the first degree, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did appoint a lawyer for you, all right? And to make sure if you don't post the other bond that they transport you, I put a bond in the amount of $10 security appearance bond so that you, if you're still in, they transport you there, all right?
Okay, so yeah, I have a bond of 250.
250 on one and 10 on the other, okay? The reason I put 10, just in case you aren't able to post a bond, they would transport you, all right? And it's always a possibility that you can get credit for your time served for both cases, all right?
Okay.
All right, so same thing about weapons, alcohol, and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release, all right?
Yeah.
All right, step to your left.
Thank you, sir.
So March 12th at 8:30.
Thank you.
David Newman.
David Newman, 11194.
Okay, so you got a bench warrant at Superior Court of 2 Class 4 felonies, dangerous drugs and narcotic drug possessions and drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. You already have an attorney. You'll be at 175 West Madison Street in Phoenix. Status conference on March 17th and a witness preliminary hearing on March 19th, both at 8:30. Your bond was set by your judge in the amount of $500 security appearance bond. If you post a bond, make sure you show up, or else you could lose your bond and a warrant would issue. So step to your left, please.
So I'm not getting out? Is that
If you post a $500 bond.
All right.
And make sure you show up for court. That's why you're in this situation. Eric Saiz.
Hello. Good morning.
Come on. Well, it's afternoon now, but it's okay. Your name and date of birth, please.
August 12th, Eric Sice,
Be a
1992.
little louder, please.
August 12th, 1992, Eric Sice.
Eric, how do you pronounce your last name?
Sice.
Sice, okay. All right, so you're in a probation violation, and that's in possession of drug paraphernalia. You're alleged to have violated terms 3, 5, and 15. I appoint a lawyer for you. You'll have your probation and revocation arraignment hearing at 201 West Jefferson, Phoenix, on March 17th at 8:30. If you get out, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You can't possess any weapons, you can't consume any alcohol or possess it, and you can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you have a case manager?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to contact your case manager within 24 hours of release from custody. Another judge has set bond for you in the amount of $200 security appearance bond. So if you get out, contact your probation officer, contact your case manager, and show up for court. All right, step to your left, please. Jeremiah Shelby. All right, sir. Your name and date of birth.
Jeremiah Shelby, July 19th, 01.
All right, sir. I'm appointing a lawyer for you. You are charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm within a city limits, Class 6 felonies. You're not to possess any, let me just check one thing here. Okay, you're not to possess any weapons, among other things. Not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Your court dates will be at 175 West Madison Street on March 25th at 8:30 for a status conference. A witness preliminary hearing on March 27th at 8:30. The state was asking a bond be placed on you, $500. I'm going to take a chance on you, looking at your record and everything else, but you better show up for court and don't lose your paperwork with the court dates. I'm releasing you to pretrial services. In your packet, there'll be a description of what you've got to do. You have got to be in compliance with pretrial services, or else a warrant will probably issue. So you have to contact them and be in compliance, but you'll be out in a few hours.
All right.
Okay. Dustin Williams.
Hello. Dustin Williams, 8483.
Okay. All right, you got a warrant at the Hassayampa Justice Court. You know, sir, they wanted a $721 bond. You got a warrant for exceeding the speed limit by more than 20 miles per hour Okay, I think it should be a lot better off showing up for that court rather than spending your time here at this hotel, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance. You better be smart.
Yes, I will be there.
All right, and be in court, and the address will be on your paperwork, March 26th at 9 o'clock in the morning at the Hacienda Justice Court. As I said, be smart, or else you'll be spend a lot of time where you shouldn't be.
Right.
You know what I mean? All right, step to your left.
All right, cool.
All right, Darren Hood? Okay, you must, I'll need a few minutes for him. You want to take everyone else out while I have to look over something? Because said they added a charge for you, so I just want to just look over something. Why don't you give me your name and date of birth, by the way, well.
Ron Darius Hood Jr., 6/25/1990.
By the way, I am going to be appointing a lawyer for you, so. You have a warrant out of West Mesa Justice Court. The address will be in your paperwork. Officer? Good? Officer, good? Thank you. All right, so you're here on charges of failure to appear. They added that also, and indecent exposure. Both are misdemeanors. Your next court date will be March 13th at 8:30 in the morning. Let me just check one thing here. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, this is the interesting thing here, sir. They wanted a bond of $500. You were in this court appearing for a different judge on January 2nd, 2025, and your next court date would have been January 21st, and you didn't show up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so the point is not, you knew when you had to be in court, okay? It was just, and you just, this court gave you, another judge here gave you a court date and you didn't do it. So as a result, bond will be $500. You cannot initiate contact with any alleged victim or victims, okay? So March 13th at 8:30 at the West Mesa Justice Court. If you post your bond, make sure you go over there. The address is on the paperwork. Otherwise, they'll transport you. All right? Very good. We are in recess. Officer, step to your left, please.
So we are ready, and then the interpreter, so the picture, and then number 19, Jordan Wyatt, and you can they just see the complete information package. So just refresh your screen. She should be on her way.
You may be seated.
Pueden tomar asiento. For the record, Your Honor, Sylvia Fisher, court interpreter.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is the time set for the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar.
Ese es el momento programado para las vistas iniciales de las 5 de la tarde.
For March 10th, 2025.
Para el día del 10 de marzo del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples.
Las órdenes judiciales en cuanto a la toma de huellas dactilares y las muestras de ADN.
Made on the 1st of this month.
Que se emitieron el primer día del mes.
Will apply to all matters on this calendar.
También se aplicarán a todas las audiencias en la lista de causas de hoy día.
I am going to call each of you up one by one to the podium.
Voy a convocar a cada uno de ustedes de forma individual para que se acerque al podio.
Where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth.
Y les voy a pedir que me den su primer nombre, sus primeros nombres y sus apellidos, además de su fecha de nacimiento.
I will then advise you as to why you are here.
Luego les voy a decir la razón por la cual se encuentran aquí.
Whether or not an attorney has been appointed to you.
Y se les ha designado un abogado o no.
Upcoming court dates.
Les voy a informar acerca de sus citas judiciales en el futuro.
What your bond is if you are eligible for bond.
Les voy a informar de la fianza si reúne los requisitos para que se fije una fianza.
And your release conditions.
Y también les voy a informar de sus condiciones de libertad.
You may have some questions while I'm giving you this advisement.
Es posible que tengan preguntas durante el aviso.
I would ask that you hold your questions until I complete that advisement.
Les voy a pedir que guarden sus preguntas hasta que termine con el aviso.
Mr. Astorga, can you please come to the podium?
Señora Astorga, por favor, acérquese al podio.
And Mr. Ruiz, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Y señor Ruiz, por favor, en la silla.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Señor, por favor, su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Ramón Isaías Favela Astorga, el 30 de mayo de 1977.
Ramón Isaías Favela Astorga, May 30th, 1977.
Sir, you are here because a warrant was issued when you failed to appear for a court date.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí porque se emitió una orden para su detención cuando no compareció a una audiencia.
An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter.
Ya se le designó un abogado para representarlo en este caso.
You will have a status conference hearing on March 20th at 8:30.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that date for the interpreter, Your Honor?
March 20th at 8:30.
Y tendrá usted una audiencia de actualización el 20 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500.
Tiene usted una fianza carcelaria con garantía de $500.
If you are able to post bond,
Si usted llega a depositar la fianza,
you must appear for your court date.
tiene que comparecer a todas sus citas judiciales.
Failure to appear for your court date will result in any bond posted being forfeited.
Si usted no comparece a sus audiencias judiciales, se va a decomisar su fianza.
Another warrant being issued for your arrest.
Se puede emitir otra orden de detención en su contra.
And additional bond being imposed.
Y se puede imponer una fianza adicional.
This completes my advisement.
Con eso termino con el aviso.
If you have no questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Si no tiene preguntas, puede pasar a su lado izquierdo y el oficial le entregará su documentación.
La pregunta es, la fianza de $500 sería a partir de la corte del día 20 de este mes al corriente.
Dígame otra vez si la fianza, ¿cómo?
Que si la fianza sería la próxima corte el 20 de este mes al corriente, la de $500.
For the
My
court,
question-
I do have,
Yes, Your Honor.
just for the court, the deputy and Giselle, I have to fix this order. The order, the warrant had a cash bond, not a secured appearance bond, so I do need to correct the order to reflect that.
La jueza tiene que corregir la orden. La orden indica que es una fianza en efectivo cuando realmente es una fianza carcelaria con garantía. My question is when do I have to pay the bond? Would it have to be at the next hearing?
You can pay the bond now.
Usted puede pagar la fianza ahora si desea.
De desear sí deseo, pero no traigo unos efectivos menos de $200. El día 20 sí los tuviera.
If I want to, yes, but I have less than $200 in cash. I would be able to pay it by the next court date.
You can pay the bond whenever. If you do not pay the bond before the next court date, you will stay in jail until the next court date.
Sí, usted puede pagar la fianza cuando quiera, pero la cosa es que si no paga la fianza va a permanecer detenido hasta por lo menos la siguiente cita judicial.
Hasta por lo menos a partir de ahorita.
So at least from now on, starting from now, I would continue to be detained if I don't pay the bond.
Correct. You will remain in jail.
Correcto. Permanecerá usted en la cárcel si no llega a depositarla.
Bueno.
Okay, then.
De ser posible, hacer llamadas al teléfono de la familia, si consiguiera, y si no, pues con cárcel.
Well,
No hay trabajo, necesito estar trabajando.
Okay, if it's possible, then I'll try to call my family to be able to get it. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to stay locked up. Right now, I'm not working.
I'm sorry to hear your circumstances, but your case has been pending for some time. This warrant is it's over 2 years old.
Lo siento por sus circunstancias, pero la cosa es que esta orden de detención sigue pendiente desde hace aproximadamente 2 años.
I believe that we've discussed everything that we need to.
Yo creo que ya hemos hablado de todo de lo que debemos hablar, señor.
Sí, correcto.
Yes, that's fine, yes.
Thank you. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Gracias, señor. Pase a su lado izquierdo y el oficial entregará su documentación.
Ms. Fisher, before I excuse you, can you please inquire to whether or not anybody else is in need of your services?
Of course, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien más que requiera los servicios de la intérprete? En caso que sí, por favor, levante la mano.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Fisher. No hands were raised. You may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you.
Mr. Ruiz, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Gorola, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Paul Reese, 10466.
Thank you. You are here today because you have 2 warrants. They are for failing to appear, and then 1 new case. So I'm first going to talk to you about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. I did find probable cause as to the possession of the dangerous drug. I did not find probable cause as to possession of drug paraphernalia. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that this offense occurred, you are not eligible for bond today. And then as to your warrant for failing to appear, an attorney was appointed to represent you in both of those. On your first warrant for failure to appear, you will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30, and that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. As to your other warrant for failing to appear, you will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. So in total, you would have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. I would not attempt to post bond at this time until you have your evidentiary hearing to see if you're eligible for bond in the matter that you're being held not bondable on at this time. If you are if you are found to be eligible for bond, make sure that you appear for all of your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no other questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Corolla, will you please come into the courtroom? Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Alicia Renee Garola, 12/21/90.
You are here because you have a warrant out of Pinal County Superior Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. You do have an arraignment hearing on March 13th at 8:30. Your warrant indicates that you are not bondable at this time due to the violation of probation. You're by statute, you are not eligible for bond today. So that takes care of everything that I can advise you of. I really can't answer any other questions as your warrant is out of Pinal County, so I don't have access to the records. The only thing I can see is your warrant.
I spoke to the courthouse the other day, and they said I had a $600 bond, and I had to come in and I had to make a new court date.
I am looking at your warrant right now, and it is saying that you are not bondable because the box is checked. It says the defendant shall be held not bondable. Due to the violation of probation. So I don't know who you talked to, and I don't know what courthouse you spoke to, but based on this warrant that I am looking at right now, and I've been advised that it is a valid warrant, that they confirmed it, and Pinal County indicated that they will come and pick you up. So that's about all I can tell you based on the information that's been provided to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Cunningham, will you please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Garza, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Good evening,
Hello. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Anthony Cunningham, 1/15/98.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable causes to that offense. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500. The information that I have is that you may be on parole, and if you are, you need to contact your parole officer within 24 hours.
I'm not on parole.
Okay, if you're not, that's fine. It's just reading the police report, that's what it indicated that you may be. So, if you are able to post bond, it is important that you do comply with your release conditions as they are reflected on the order, as well as appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Any bond posted will be forfeited, and a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. So that's all that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions, if you will step to the left, the officers will give you.
Isn't it like, how much percent of the bond do I have to pay?
10% plus
10%.
collateral.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Garza, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Parker, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Garza, Monica.
Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Monica Garza, 12/25/1980.
You were here today because the warrant was issued for your arrest because the arrest warrant says that you were not in compliance with your release conditions. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on March 18th at 8:30. The warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. I am going to affirm that the prior orders had that you could not return to the scene of the alleged crime, that you cannot have any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot possess any weapons. If you fail to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court date, any bond that you posted would be forfeited, another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. That takes care of the advisement that I have to provide to you. If you have no questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
So I'm going to be released?
You are not. You have a bond of $5,000. So if you'll please step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Parker, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Roebuck, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Well, sir, will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Dustin Parker, 11/25/1986.
You are here today because you have 3 matters. 2 of them are direct complaints that were filed, and 1 is a new case. So on the new case, you were charged with 1 count of aggravated DUI, driving with a suspended license or revoked license for a DUI, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of an open container in a vehicle, a class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you are able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services, which will include alcohol testing and monitoring. As to the first direct complaint that was filed, you were charged with 1 count, well, actually you were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving or physical control while under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs alleged to have occurred on August 24th of 2019. I appointed an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30, and the direct complaint had a bond in the amount of $750. On the second direct complaint, you were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving or actual physical control while under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs alleged to have occurred on February 12th of 2021. And I did appoint an attorney to represent you on that matter, and the direct complaint had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. If you are able to post bond, you must comply with your release conditions. If you fail to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates, any bond posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. Your total bond between the 3 cases, secured appearance, is $6,750. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of. If you have no questions, if you will please step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Robick, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Crosby, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Mr. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Chicago Roebuck, 10/11/76.
Thank you. You were here today for a new case. Giselle?
Fell asleep behind the wheel.
Hold on a second. When they were inputting the date of the offenses, they put the wrong year on one of them. They put 2024, and it should be 2025. Okay. Okay. So you were here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of possession of a liquor or open container in a vehicle, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you are able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services, which will include drug and alcohol testing and monitoring. If you must comply with your release conditions as well as appear for your court dates. If you fail to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of. If you have no additional questions, if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Is there any possible way I can get on, or I just started working?
So the reason why I believe that bond was appropriate in your matter, I looked at your history and as well as the circumstances surrounding your the contact that the police had with you at the time of your arrest, the circumstances surrounding that. And I do have safety concerns. And so I believe that in order to keep the public safe and to ensure that you will appear for your court dates, I believe that imposing bond is appropriate. It's secured appearance, so it's 10% of $2,500.
What's that?
Like $250.
I won't have that until that next week.
Well, sir, I don't know what else to tell you.
If you let me continue to work, I will have it.
I'm looking at your long history here. And so I am concerned about the community, and I'm looking at, you are aware of the circumstances that resulted in your arrest. So I'm not changing my order. I'm not changing my order today. That is what the bond is. So if you will please step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Crosby, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Gomez, if you'll please have a seat, or Mr. Gomez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
It's Kathleen and Marie Crosby, just hyphen Hart. I was married to Hart, but he's dead now. And I've been trying to clear up this warrant for a long time, for 25 years now.
Ma'am, can you just tell me what your date of birth is?
7/11/72.
So you're here because you have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. If you're able to post bond, you do need to make sure you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited. A warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed.
I don't want to do any more jail time because of the fact that I've already cleared this up 25 years ago. I don't have any money. My sister has all the money wrapped up in some kind of bond or something at Walmart or Fry's. contact Mr. Wayne Fry and contact Mr. Hart and tell them to give me my money because they're the ones selling my property.
I am unable to contact anybody. That is not what my job is.
You know my mom and dad.
I don't know. I am meeting you for the first time today, so I don't know your family history. I don't know anything about what you're speaking of at this time. I am aware that a judicial officer
Well, if my
reviewed
kids would just get
information.
off their asses
Okay, so
and
we're
get out of Dolan
included.
Springs and just, all right. I'm just saying. And people in Dolan Springs are the ones that's messing me up.
Mr. Gomez, would you please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Davis, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Rene Gomez, 3601.
You are here today because you have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. If you are able to post bonds, make sure you show up to your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. That takes care of everything that I need to advise you of. If you have no additional questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Russ, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Hello. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Skylar Davis, 11/20/1988.
You are here today because you have two matters. One is a warrant for failing to appear for a court date, and then a direct complaint was filed. So I'm going to talk to you.
What does a direct complaint mean?
So I'm going to tell you.
Okay, sorry.
So a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 1 count of possession or use of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, alleged to have occurred on August 9th of 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. The direct complaint had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. Then, as to your warrant for failing to appear for a court date, an attorney was already appointed to represent you in that matter. You do have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. And you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear, another warrant will be issued for your arrest. Any bond posted will be forfeited, and an additional bond could be imposed.
May I speak to you? The first warrant that I have was from not failure to appear, but I was in prison when that first warrant came out. So I didn't have really even any knowledge of that warrant coming out. And then
You're talking about the direct complaint?
No, I'm talking about the warrant
for failing to appear for court?
Yeah, the first one, the old one, is from like a year. It's from like a year ago.
No, the warrant for your failing to appear.
So I was in prison for that, and then this warrant that I have right now, my phone.
Do you want me to answer your question? Because you're talking about two separate things, and I'd like to go one at a time.
Sorry.
So your warrant for failing to appear for a court date that you had, that warrant was issued on February 24th of 2025.
Yeah, that's the new one, correct? The drug complaint?
So, no, that's not the new one. The case, the date of your offenses on that was February 8th of 2025, and I looked at the docket. You were at court. You were advised what your upcoming court dates were and what would happen if you failed to appear.
Correct. Now, the first warrant, I already had a warrant for when I was in prison. I got out, and then I got this.
So your direct complaint,
that's what I'm talking about now.
So it's not a warrant.
Or a direct complaint, whatever it is, however it
Sorry,
works.
I just want to explain it to you so you understand what happened. So I looked at this. The direct complaint was signed on February 26th of 2025.
Correct.
So that's old either. It was just filed.
Yeah, that's the new one I just got in trouble with recently. My phone had gotten stolen, and all my stuff is on my phone. I do all my reminders and all my email and all that stuff is on my phone.
You wouldn't have had a reminder for this one.
No, I'm saying that's why I missed my court date, because my phone got stolen and all my stuff was on my phone. And I'm starting to do good.
You're telling me so many stories right now, sir.
I'm trying to explain to you my situation.
Well, you first said you were in prison a long time ago.
I just got out of prison last month.
But you were present at court.
Yes, ma'am, for the new one, yes, the correct, this is what I'm talking about, the warrant now. My
For
phone.
failing to appear.
Correct, my phone had gotten stolen when I was at work. I left my phone in my locker, and it got stolen.
You
from
don't
me.
have your paperwork?
No, I do everything electronically, ma'am. That's why I didn't show up for my court date, because my phone got stolen.
But you had
I thought it
your
was this
paperwork.
week. I thought it was coming up this Friday.
But you had your paperwork.
I didn't, I had my paperwork, but when I got out of jail, I took a picture of it, and I uploaded it to my phone, and I threw my paperwork away, because I'm not able to keep
I
paperwork.
don't find that to be good cop.
Well, I'm trying to ask you, because I just went to prison, I'm trying to do good, and I got a job, and I got a place to stay. I've already missed one day at work this morning. If I miss tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be homeless again, back on the streets with nothing.
So, I'm gonna have a very honest conversation with you right now.
I'm trying to do good, ma'am. I'm trying not to be homeless, I'm trying to keep my job.
Are you gonna allow me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It seems to me that you're not making good choices, correct? Like, if you are trying to do good, in my opinion, when you just got out of prison, it would seem to me that you would keep all the information that you needed to make sure that you got to court if you're just getting out of prison, that you don't want to be incarcerated again.
Correct.
And you failed to do that.
That's why
The other thing that you could have done is just call the court to find out when you had, if something happened to your phone. So these are excuses. These
You're
are
right.
excuses
You're right.
because there are ways that you check, and double check to make sure that you are where you need to be. And I know that when you're just getting out of prison and for whatever reasons, I'm looking at like why you were in trouble, why you were picked up. For both of your cases, they involve drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're still not making good choices that will help you to be clean and to make more responsible choices so that you don't keep ending up in jail.
So you are right. I am an addict, ma'am.
I appreciate that. It's not that I don't understand that.
At the same time,
there's no change behavior.
All I'm asking you is please give me a chance to keep my job. That's all I'm asking. It's so hard to get a job nowadays.
This is
with
not
being a
my
felon.
warrant the warrant that I'm telling you about
Yes,
is not
it's the
an
new
order
one.
that I issued.
Yeah, it's the new one, correct. It's the
I'm
new
not-
one. That's
I'm-
what I'm talking about.
This is what I'm
Please.
talking about too. It is another judge, the judge that you were supposed to be in front of. You did not appear in front of her. And I know that you were told, just like I'm telling you right now, what will happen. So this is what happened. It's not for me to change it. And I'm not finding any good cause that would justify me changing it.
So I'm
we're
gonna
not
lose my
talking-
job and I'm gonna get, it's over, somebody's stealing my shit. Somebody's
Please
stealing
do
my
not
phone.
swear at me.
I'm
You're
sorry,
here
I didn't
because you
mean to.
committed, you have 2 felony offenses, is the
You're-
allegation. That's
right.
why you're here.
You're right.
So I know, I didn't make you allegedly do those things.
No, I'm not saying anybody made me do anything.
you're acting like I'm doing something to you.
I'm
You have made
just
some bad
asking you to help me keep
decisions.
my job. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, we're done.
You people are the reason why people get fucked up in this world, man. I'm trying to be doing
Hey, go.
Let's see, man. Go.
Mr. Ruff, will you please come into the courtroom? Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
My first and last name. My first name is Joshua. My last name is Ruff. My date of birth is 09/20/1982.
You are here because you have 2 family court child support warrants. Due to the nature of the offense, you would not be entitled to a court-appointed attorney because it's civil in nature. Your child support warrants have a purge amount of $100 cash per warrant. So in order to be released from jail, you would have to pay $200 in cash. You will have a return hearing in front of the judge that issued these warrants on March 18th at 10 o'clock. That takes care of everything that I need to advise you of. If you have no questions, you can step to the left and the officer will give you your paperwork.
Could you OR me?
I cannot. This is not a criminal case. Oh, is it different than?
No. Oh, I was gonna give it to you and I saw.
Okay. Ms. Bartlett, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. McGovern, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Ronnie C. Bartlett, 2190.
Thank you. You are here for two matters. You have one new case, and then you have a violation of probation. We're going to talk about the new case first. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable causes to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 27th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Then, on your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a probation revocation, possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. Again, I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
If you fail to appear for your court date, the warrant will be issued for your arrest and bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll step to the left, if you have no additional questions, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Are you leaving today?
You're being released today.
Thank you so much. Oh.
Mr. McGovern, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Lee, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yep, Sean McGovern, August 21st, 2005.
You were here today because you have a warrant out of North Mesa Justice Court. Due to the nature of the offense, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. I am going to let you know that this warrant was issued because you failed to appear for your court date, and
I have a good excuse for that.
I'm just letting you know what the warrant is.
Okay.
You do have an arraignment hearing on March 27th at 1 o'clock. I am going to release you. I'm going to give you a chance to get this together. So I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today. Okay. But if you fail to appear for your court date, another warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you promise to appear for your court date?
I do.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Gatcombe, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jordan Lee, December 16th, 2005.
You were here today on a new case. You were charged with 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of theft of a credit card, a Class 5 felony, and 1 count of theft or control over stolen property, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of those offenses. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 27th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance today. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond would be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You also have to comply with your release conditions, and I'm just highlighting a couple of those things. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crimes, you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot have any contact with the co-defendant. If you fail to comply with your release conditions, would also result in a warrant being issued for your arrest, okay? So that takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you have no questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gatcombe, if you'll please come into the courtroom. Will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Aiden Gatcombe, 10-2306.
You were here today on a new case. You were charged with 2 counts of burglary, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of theft of a credit card, Class 5 felony, and 1 count of theft or control over stolen property, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the offenses. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on March 25th at 8:30. You have a preliminary hearing on March 27th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I promise.
You have additional release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crimes. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot have any contact with your co-defendant. Failure to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest and a bond being imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you have no questions.
Well, when you say 8:30, do you mean in the morning or at night? Just so I know.
It's going to be in the morning.
All right, cool.
And your paperwork will have all the information, so don't lose it.
Got you. Thank you, ma'am. Have a wonderful day.
Mr. White, if you will please come into the courtroom. Hello, Mr. White. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jordan Levi, November 30th, 1986.
You were here today because you have 2 violations of probation. I appointed an attorney to represent you on both matters. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. On your first violation of probation, you are not bondable due to the nature of the violation of probation. On your other violation of probation, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $7,500. I would advise you to not attempt to post bond until you find out whether or not you will be bondable in your other matter.
How would I do that?
What do you mean? So you have a court date. You'll find out at your court date whether or not you're going to be eligible for release. So when you go to court, both violations of probation, your court date is March 17th at 8:30. So everything should be resolved or decided at that time.
What's the second violation? Because the paperwork online said I only had 1 violation.
So you have 2 cases. You have the one that you are not held bondable on. The case number is CR 2009109550. And
okay, I know what you're talking about.
So for that one, it's a failure to report as required. And then for your second violation of probation, it's a case number of CR 2015135312. And that violation is that you did not report to probation as directed as well. So those are the reasons for your violations.
Okay. So what if I had, so I had court the same day I had to...
They're for both cases.
Yeah, so I had court the day I had to go see them. I advised them on that. Because I had a misdemeanor court.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I know that one of your reasons why you're on probation is very serious, and you must report. You must report, and if you couldn't go at the time, you needed to reschedule the time, and it appears as though you didn't. Something happened where you got violated, and the judge who heard the information from probation found that you violated your probation. And there's a lot of reasons when I'm looking at it. It's not just that you didn't report. It's not maintaining a stable residence as you're supposed to. You were not maintaining curfew as you were supposed to.
Well, I'm homeless, so I mean it's hard to maintain the curfew.
It also says that you did not abide by the GPS program rules that you are aware of, that you failed to keep your unit charged on multiple occasions. So those are the reasons for what was reflected as to why the violation of probation was found, and why the judge who heard it found that you were not eligible for a bond at this time due to the nature of the violation. So if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Yeah. Ramon Attar, date of birth, July 17th, 1957, is not able to participate in person due to bizarre behavior. A direct complaint was filed where she was charged with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs at Class 4 felony and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia at Class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is November 10th, 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent her. She will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. The direct complaint bond is $500. Ms. Char will be advised that if she fails to appear for her court date, that any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for her arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. Mr. Morales is here on one new case, and then he has a warrant out of Maryvale Justice Court. Date of birth, January 20th, 1998. He's unable to participate in court due to combative behavior. He was charged with one count of criminal trespass, a Class 5 felony, and one count of assault with intent to injure, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. And then as to the warrant out of Maryvale Justice Court, I did appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have an arraignment hearing on March 12th at 8:30. He has a placeholder bond in the amount of $50. He will be advised that if he posts bond, that he must appear for his court dates. If he fails to do so, any bond posted will be forfeited. Another warrant, a warrant would be issued for his arrest. An additional bond could be imposed. And then Mr. Jacob Forrester, date of birth March 17th, 1994, is here because he has one new case and then 3 violations of probation. He is unable to participate in court due to concerns of being a flight risk. On the new case, he was charged with one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of DUI, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable causes to both counts. He will have an arraignment hearing on March 13th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50, and that is a placeholder bond. He will need to contact probation within 72 hours of his release. And then as to his violations of probation, I did appoint an attorney to represent him in that matter. He will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per case. So his total bond between all of the cases is would be $800 secured appearance. I will advise everybody of these things when I meet with them, and if there's any changes that are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. This concludes the 5 p.m. initial appearance hearing initial appearance court, and we stand in recess until 8 p.m. You may be seated. Good evening. This is the time set for the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar for March 10th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I will be calling each of you up one by one to the podium, where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then advise you as to why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed to you, what your upcoming court dates are, what your bond is if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. You may have some questions while I'm giving you that advisement. I just ask that you hold your questions until I complete that advisement. The first person I'm going to call is Mr. James to come to the podium, and then Mr. Martin, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Hello, Your Honor.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
My name is Marcus St. James, 9/21/76.
You are here today because you have a warrant out of Flagstaff Justice Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on March 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you posted will be forfeited. Another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this evening. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Martin, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Anderson, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hello. Hello. Can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, it's Eric Martin, 10/2/91.
Thank you. You are here today because you have 2 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. Your first warrant for violating probation has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. The second one has a bond in the amount of $50. So it's secured appearance of $5,000, $50 between the 2 cases. If you are able to post bond, make sure that you attend your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you posted will be forfeited. Another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I need to advise you of this evening. If you have no questions, you step to the left. The officer will give you your paperwork.
I do actually have at least one quick question. I had been in communication with my probation officer. These warrants kind of came out literally out of nowhere. I literally spoke to my surveillance officer a day or 2 before that. They hadn't advised me of anything wrong or anything, and I was just kind of confused at this.
Well, the reasons is not just the having contact. It looks like you're not abiding by the terms of your probation. According to the request to violate, it looks like terms 4, 7, and 15 are the reasons for the violation of probation being filed. So whatever questions you have regarding your conversations with your probation officer, I can't speak to that, and I'm not the judge who issued these warrants. So whatever was presented to the judge who felt that there was probable cause to violate you, that's where it is, and I really can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I understand for sure. Yeah, I definitely, because I never said I wouldn't go to drug or treatment. I had
at this
called
time, I
them.
just wouldn't. You just asked why, and I would just told you about the terms. I'd advise you not to get into it because you don't have your attorney here with you, and those are things that you need to address with your attorney, who will basically make that argument for you for the judge who's going to hear your case. Okay?
I guess I was just trying to get OR maybe that way I could.
I cannot.
No. All right.
No.
You ain't going nowhere, homeboy. Nice try, though.
Ms. Anderson, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Guzman, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Up next on The Price is Wrong.
Hello, Ms. Anderson, if you will please state your first and last name and your date of birth.
Alexander January 25th, 1996.
Thank you. You are here today because you have 4 warrants for failing to appear for a court date. An attorney has been appointed to represent you in these matters. On your first matter, you have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. The second matter, same, that you have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30 with a secured appearance bond of $250. On your third matter, you have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. And on your last warrant, you have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30 with a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So your total secured appearance bond between the 4 cases is $1,250. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for all of your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. That takes care of everything that I need to advise you of. If you have no further questions, if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork regarding these matters. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, so if you guys subscribe
Mr.
today...
Guzman, if you'll please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Martinez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
If you guys subscribe today in the smaller channel, I really appreciate it. We hit 3K today. We got 3,000 new subscribers today.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
I'm going to last some words.
You are here today because you have 2 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30. One of your warrants has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. The other one has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. So between the 2 cases, your total secured appearance bond is $350. If you are able to post bond, make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited. A warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to more bond. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Martinez, if you'll please come to the courtroom, and Ms. Pringle, if you'll have a seat in the chair.
How you doing, miss?
Hello. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Gilberto Alonso Martinez, 82594.
You are here today because you have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on March 17th at 8:30.
All right.
If you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and an additional bond would be imposed.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Wait, what? Hey, so yeah, the audio and the visuals are delayed right now for whatever
Ms.
reason.
Pringle, will you please come into the courtroom?
Lots of probation
And
violations. Yup, 3, 5, and
Mr.
15.
Flynn, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Thank you for that, Daniel. Highly appreciate that.
Close. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Christmas Snow Pringle, 11/12/91.
Damn.
You are here today for a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. The possession of a dangerous drug is a Class 4 felony. Possession of drug paraphernalia is a Class 6 felony. I did not find possession of a dangerous drug, but I did find probable cause as to possession of drug paraphernalia. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will please step to your left. The
So I got a bond, pay a bond to get out?
Yes.
What if I can't do that right now?
You ain't going
If you
nowhere.
can't pay bond, then you will be held until your court date on March 17th.
Okay.
You ain't going nowhere.
That's kind of hard because
You got to go to work. You got to take care of your
why
mom.
is that for the charges that I got?
Part of the reason why I imposed a
Your
bond
kids.
is I looked at your history and you
It's
have...
because I just got my kids back from CPS not that long ago. I got 3 of my kids back. They're at the house unattended by themselves.
Well, then you might need to call DCS to come and get them.
Good luck.
I don't want to do that.
I think that you have no choice if you're saying that your children are at home by themselves and you were arrested at 7:40 this morning.
Yeah, I was arrested, but it wasn't for something that I was doing. I was in the middle of taking care of that. I had to meet up with my caseworker. And I just got my housing voucher, so that's the only reason why I didn't take care of
what I found probable cause for is that you were picked up for trespassing. That's how the stop initially happened. And then after you were allegedly...
That's not really how it went, man.
Well, whatever. I'm just letting you know that the information that I read, according to the probable cause statement, I told you...
My boyfriend turned into a...
Okay, we're done talking. Go ahead and step out. Mr. Glenn, if you'll please come into the courtroom, and Mr.
Up next on The Price is Wrong.
In the chair.
Sheesh. Man, that track suit
Please state your first and last name
was
and your
one
date of birth.
size too small.
Jason Glidden, 7/21/74.
You were here because on a new case, you were charged with 1 count of assault with an intent to injure, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to that offense. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. Prior to making a determination on release conditions, I did review the victim impact statement. You do have an arraignment hearing on March 27th at 9 a.m. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
There are some release conditions that you must abide by. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. You cannot possess any weapons. And if there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you have to abide by those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted when civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. If you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a class 6 felony. Failure to comply with these release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest and a bond likely being imposed. So that completes my advisement. If you have no questions, you'll step to the left. The officer will give you your paperwork.
Okay.
Mr. Sidibor?
Oh, I did? I'll check it out. Thank you, Nicole, for letting me know. Would you happen to know what time it came up?
Can
The
you please state
timestamp?
your first and last name and your date of birth?
Kevin Stevor, February 9th, 97.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of assault with an intent to injure, class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to that offense. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on March 25th at 9 o'clock. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Of course.
You do have additional release conditions that you must comply with. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. You must obey any, if there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you must abide by the terms of those orders. You cannot reside in the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted when civil standby with law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. You are advised that if you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with aggravated harassment. You remember when I said at the beginning?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
So if you can't follow that small little request, giving me pause on whether or not you can follow these orders.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So you are cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony.
Thank you, Nicole.
Failure to comply with your release conditions or failure to appear for your court date will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest and a bond being imposed. Now you may ask your questions.
Is that a wig? It looks like a
He
wig.
said,
What do you guys think?
The police can come with me to get my things.
Or is it a toupee?
Could I just have my mom meet me and bring me my dog?
No.
Oh, she's
I
involved?
mean, like, well, you can involve anybody.
Is
well,
she
not the
involved?
victim. I'm telling you to go to the house. You have to go there with law enforcement, and you can only do that once.
Okay.
And you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim.
Was this a domestic
Who's the
violence?
I want to know who was written as the victim, please.
You know what happened. Do you really want to now go and put on the record what
Yeah.
I reviewed?
Yeah.
No.
Put it on the record, Your Honor.
So
Put it on the
to the
record.
left.
Thank you, ma'am.
Why? Drop one, flush one. Stalking.
Mr.
Both?
Johnson,
Ah,
will you
what?
please come into the courtroom?
That's out the window. Get out of here. Shh, with your head down. Insulting the judge's intelligence. How dare you? And welcome to a new
Sir, can you
episode
please
of You
give
Have
your
a
first last name and your date of birth?
Elijah Johnson, 10787.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with one count of disorderly conduct involving fighting, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on April 8th at 1:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance today, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
You also have the following release conditions that you must comply with. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim or victims. You cannot possess any weapons. You must obey any orders of protection or orders against harassment. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted one civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. You're also advised that if you violate the no victim contact order, in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest and a bond being imposed. That completes the advisement that I needed to provide to you. If you have no questions, if you'll step to the left, the officer will provide you with your paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're going straight to jail. That is correct. Hey, the Board of Parole hearings from today, six and a half hours of craziness, man. The chat was off the chain. It was so crazy I couldn't even read the messages, man. There was 1,500 people watching.
The inability to function.
What's
Ms. Banks
story tomorrow?
is
Same thing as
in court
today.
because a warrant was issued when she failed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to represent her.
I was
She has
about to
a
fall
status
asleep
conference
in the
hearing on
middle of the
March
stream.
17th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 19th at 8:30. She has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. I will advise her that if she fails to appear for her court date, if she posts bond, that bond would be forfeited. The warrant would be issued for her arrest. An additional bond could be imposed. Mr. Alexander Stevens, date of birth July 21st, 1988, also is not present in court physically due to the inability to function. Mr. Stevens is in court due to a warrant issued out of University Lakes Justice Court. Due to the nature of the charge, Mr. Stevens is not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. He will have an arraignment hearing on March 25th at 1:30. He will be released on his own recognizance. He will be advised that if he fails to appear for his court date, a warrant would be issued for his arrest and bond would likely be imposed. I am going to meet with these two individuals. If any changes are needed, I will do so either in writing or on the record. This concludes the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar, and we stand in recess until 11 p.m.
Damn, we gotta wait till 11 p.m. Hey, and I'll for sure be back for the 11 p.m. one. It's 8:20 right now, so 2 hours and 40 minutes will be the last stream of the night, and then we'll be back tomorrow. You know, tomorrow we're gonna be having some Board of Parole hearings. I know you guys like those, man. Hey, today I was short on sleep, but you know I wrote it out. Man, I like halfway or quarter through, or maybe almost towards the end of the stream, man, I was about to fall asleep, man. I was like done. I was like, oh shit. And then people were putting in the chat, James, don't fall asleep. I was like, ah shit, that's right. I can be falling asleep on camera. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's screen recording me, I might go viral about to fall asleep. That'll be no bueno. Hey, so I want to go ahead and thank all of you guys, man. All of you guys, and especially the guys that followed today on the smaller account. Man, we had over 100. I've never had that many people on the stream before. 1,500 people watching at the same time. I think we hit 1,600, and we on the small account we ended up getting 3,000 new subscribers. We're up to almost 6,000 subscribers, so 4 more thousand subscribers for me to go ahead and get become part of the creator fund, if you will, in the UK. You know, shout out to the people from the UK, New Zealand, Australia, Amsterdam, and man, all you European countries out there, and especially the people from with the United States, Canada, Mexico. And if I missed you, it wasn't on purpose. But I appreciate all of you guys, you know, tuning in, whether you're tuning in on TT, if you're tuning in on YT. This is what I do, you know. This is what I do on a daily basis. Normally, when I don't have to work, tomorrow I have a little bit of free time before I head to work. So I'm for sure I'm gonna be on here. What we're gonna be doing, I don't know. The possibilities are endless. We could be doing Dade County. We could be doing Utah parole board hearings. We could do Connecticut board of parole hearings. Man, we could be anywhere and everywhere, if you will. New York in here. That's right. GG represent yo city. Damn. So hey, so it's gonna be in. For you, it's going to be in the middle of the night, so you might be losing some sleep over there in Miami, if you will. So in 2 hours and 40 minutes, let's say, Oklahoma in here. Hey, that's right, represent yo city. That's right, Wendy B. And hey, whenever you guys are typing something, Border Patrol will be interesting, right? You know what? Look, so whenever you guys drop comments, it's not that I'm ignoring your comments. Sometimes, you know, sometimes they're talking, so I don't like to interrupt. Also, I have multiple streams going on of the same thing on different platforms. So I got 3 different screens I'm looking at. I got this screen, I got that screen, and then I got this screen right here to my left. Then I got my computer on the bottom. So I got multiple screens that I got to be looking at different times, if you will. Colorado checking in. That's right. Hell yeah. Hey, if you haven't done so, do so. Please go ahead and check out the new videos that I uploaded on the smaller account. You know, I did a few different videos up there that I uploaded to the account that I hadn't uploaded. But hey, I would appreciate if you guys check them out. If you guys like them, drop a comment. And also, if you could go ahead and repost them, that'll definitely help me, you know, getting the smaller account on the smaller, you know, on the smaller streams and whatnot. Yeah, Australia, that's right. Todd, represent your city. That's right. Kirsten, it's free 99 to follow. You know, why wouldn't you want to follow? I'm not charging anything, and I'm not expecting anything from you guys. You know, gifts and whatever. None of that stuff is required. The only thing I do require and would appreciate was a follow, because those are free. You know what I'm saying? We got England in the house. That's right. Represent your city. UK, so I'm telling you, the UK, you guys from the UK definitely been coming in deep. So I noticed that today. You guys were in here deep than a mug up in here representing Mind the Gap. You know what I'm saying? On the underground. Hey, thank you for that. Highly appreciate that. Oh, Carson. I thought it was Carson. My bad. My apologies. Let me see, Dina. Let me see where are you doing? Utah. I am from. Okay, so Utah's gonna be tomorrow. The Utah stream start at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Utah time. I don't know what that time is, but they'll be on tomorrow. All right. So definitely be on the lookout, if you will. Let me see. You know about Mind the Gap? Hell yeah! I've been up to the UK, so I know what it is. I've been up to London Heathrow. I've been up to Gatwick. So I spent a few days out there. I went to the, what do you call it, a Stonehenge. You know, I went out for what was it, a tea time, a noon tea time. You know, I was drinking my tea like this, my eating some crumpets, if you will. So you know, I'm a little bit, I'll be doing a little bit of traveling. So hey, don't be surprised if you ever catch me out in the UK, Europe, or shit, anywhere and everywhere. I love going places, if you will. And as speaking about places, we're gonna be out in the East Coast next week. So hey, you might be seeing some videos dropping. Hey, grateful for what you do. It's very interesting, and I thank you so much for. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Cultured, if you will. Anyways, guys, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. Like I said, I do appreciate you, and I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. Hey, and I'll see you guys back in 2 hours and some change, all right? 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be the last stream of the night. Hey, I am Collect Call James. You are watching. You have a Collect Call From. And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out. Rato. Practice rolling your R's like that, all right? That's going to be the task for the night. Rato. All right, in the YouTube stream, I'm gonna cut it and then I'll start it back up right before the next stream starts up. All right, so I'll see you guys back shortly. All right.